It's the Broadband Bestie Show. Bob and Kim bring you broadband news in a very serious way on the Broadband Bestie Show.
Brought to you by Michael's, where bedazzled housewives show up in force. Here are Bob and Kim.
I'm not a housewife, though.
You are bedazzled, though.
Look at this. I'm ready. Bestie, I'm ready. It's FiberConnect week.
So you're dressing up for FiberConnect?
I'm dressing up. I have my champagne. I'm ready. Are we celebrating? It's like the biggest event of the year.
5,000 people. The entire industry is gathering in Nashville. Well, the entire industry minus one individual.
Mr. Matt Larson? Is that who it is?
Yes, we've all read the LinkedIn post. Fired around the world. Here's what I'm wearing, by the way.
Best Karen ever.
Best Karen ever.
Matt Larson might not be coming to FiberConnect 2025, but maybe we can get Mr. Larson there in 2026.
Here's to
What
hoping.
am I thinking?
We're thinking. I don't know. We'll see what Gary Bolton has to say. Fiber.
Fiber. So with fiber, what are you excited for at FiberConnect, Bestie?
Bestie, to see you. It's been a couple of months since we've seen each other in person. I mean, gosh, we got to keep those rumors nice and fueled, right?
Well, do you think that I need to wear the sequin so you know who I am, or
Bestie, we all know where you are at all times during FiberConnect. It's like you have like an entourage of paparazzi following you around, the broadband paparazzi, like Kim this, Kim that, Kim, and then they follow me too. They're like, hey Bob, yeah, where's Kim?
it's hard to be me, Bestie. It's hard to be me.
Well, by the way, your lips look fantastic, and they match the sequence. They're sparkly, big, and purple.
I got the Botox. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
you're ready to rock.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to see the people. I'm ready to see all our friends in the broadband space. That's always so much fun. And I think there's going to be some really cool topics. Like I'm on a panel on, go figure, marketing, of course, but like the economics of broadband. There's a lot of partnership types of panels. And, I think the BEAD panels, still nobody knows anything about BEAD or what's up or what's down. So I don't know that there's going to be fresh content on BEAD, but I think digital equity is going to be a really hot topic at this year's FiberConnect, just because there's so many things that are happening right now in the space, clearly.
Well, you've got that. But what I'm excited for is that my current CEO, Trent Edwards, is doing Hot Ones on the main stage on Monday, in which he has to eat some hot chicken wings. And I think they get hotter as the questions go on. So I am wishing him luck, and I probably will have a gallon of milk or so for him afterwards, because that he is a brave soul to do that. But along with that, I'm really excited to talk to some of these overbuilders that are out there. You're seeing a lot of M&As happening with the big telcos, tier ones, and MSOs. But what's really is freaking exciting and interesting to me is, how are the overbuilders responding to this? What do they think of this activity? Are they scared? Are they energized by it? What are their thoughts? I'm very curious, because you've seen a lot of M&A activity since we've all met up last. So I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the overbuilders, they're talking about, yeah, overbuilders are winning. But I think we're seeing, especially in the tier one space, a lot of M&As, as you have said. And how is that going to impact? Are the overbuilders going to get a little bit scared? Is this going to impact their business models?
Are you seeing PE get scared from some of the networks they bought? And since BEAD is delayed and the overbuilders, not the overbuilders, the MSOs and tier ones making these big moves, does that change the ecosystem that we're seeing? So I'm excited to have a lot of those conversations and see what is really happening and what the word on the street is.
Well, I mean, clearly I'm not in PE, because if I was, I wouldn't be coming to you from my basement painted over wood paneling in my 1964 house. I'd be coming to you from, a nice seaside area. But if I were in PE, I'd be very concerned, right? Because I made all these presumptive investments knowing that BEAD was going to be coming in 2023, 2024. Right now we're looking at maybe 2026 if it comes at all. But also, they've rolled up a lot of smaller ISPs, right? And so how are they going to be competing, with the tier ones? Because tier one, their reach is getting, bigger and bigger. So the market, the landscape is changing pretty drastically.
It's changing like every moment. You never know what's happening. But let's go to the biggest topic of the day. And you kind of mentioned it earlier,
Hot
but
wings, right?
it's not hot wings. I mean, you just really wanted to give those bad jokes, but we'll forgive you for that. But
Okay, Bestie.
on the digital equity front, I want to start here. You talk about that you want to go to FiberConnect to learn about digital equity, but I'm going to challenge you. What is digital equity to you?
Well, I want to challenge you back. Has your opinion of digital equity shifted, or your knowledge shifted since moving from Utopia, a government entity, into the private sector, into the construction realm?
I don't think my idea has changed. I have said this from the moment, even when I was in the government aspect, is that I don't think that digital equity is a decision maker for any broadband provider, private or government owned, in their decision making of how they deploy their fiber or broadband assets. I just don't think that it is the decision maker, even though it might be the right thing to do. And we all want digital equity out there. But when you're looking at a spreadsheet where the dollars and cents matter, does it matter that much? And I'm going to say in most of those boardrooms, it's no. And I know that's a very
Right.
controversial take, and it might not be a very popular take, but I do think it's a realistic take.
Canceled.
No broadband paparazzi for me this year.
None for you. Um, no, I mean, I think you're right to a certain extent, right? Um, digital equity programs, historically, you know, it's hard to, quantify on a spreadsheet. I don't want to talk value because they're very valuable, I feel, but on a spreadsheet, it's hard to make the math work. And what's the ROI? Because the spreadsheet people always look at ROI. So that's why you have government and government entities that are saying, okay, now we've got to be in charge of digital equity and funding digital equity and working with NGOs, nonprofit community to make sure it gets out there. But now we're in this era where uh, digital equity programs are really, on the chopping block. They're really at risk. So let's talk about what is digital equity, because that three-legged stool, because everyone is looking at it sort of very differently.
Well, this is the going back to the question I asked you. Don't try to ask the question I asked you back to me. So you tell me what you think digital equity is.
Well, obviously, it's access, it's education. What's the other piece of the three-legged stool? I always forget. Access, education, and
Affordability.
affordability. Thank you. Affordability. We're in a really
You
dangerous
only had a
position.
two-legged stool there for a hot second. Just saying, but keep going.
Yeah, it was like a bicycle. You just had to balance it a little bit. It's like a balance ball, right? The
Like a
balance ball of digital
scooter.
equity.
It's like a
Yeah,
scooter.
a scooter, 100% a scooter. Yeah. So okay, digital equity is in some very serious trouble right now. We can all agree. The Trump administration is making cuts left and right. I'm seeing, and I have enormous respect for the folks who drive the digital equity conversation, who are working on digital equity policy, who work in the field day to day. I mean, they're doing God's work. The issue that I think is happening, and I'm saying this as a marketing person, as a marketing professional, is that, well, the work is really important and it impacts not only people, but the economy and society, making sure that everyone is connected and participating. We're having yesterday's conversation about digital equity, and we're not modernizing the conversation for the new administration and the way things are working. So, for instance, um, when the cuts are happening, people are saying, "Oh my God, this is terrible! It's abhorrent!" They're missing bar. This is well-intended people wringing their hands. What if the conversation is reframed to look at, some of the uses of digital equity. So, for example, workforce development. For example, addiction, substance use recovery and telehealth.
So what you're trying to say is you're trying to operationalize digital equity, is what I'm hearing.
100%. We've had this digital equity conversation up here where we're talking about policy. We're talking, about what's right or what's wrong. Let's get it down to a more granular level. What happens when we have digital equity? And when we have digital equity, the things that happen, workforce development, you get people back in the workforce. You get people being able to do not only remote work, but working, in factories using computers, um, putting together spreadsheets. I mean, all that stuff. This is part of digital equity. That is straight in alignment with a lot of the Trump administration programs right now and
But
policies.
whose responsibility, and let me challenge this conversation, whose responsibility is it to do digital equity or workforce development, as you call it?
So you're saying, is it the public sector? Is
Is it
it
the
private sector
ISP?
business?
Yeah,
Is it
like
the
is it the
ISP?
ISP? Is it the nonprofits? Where does that lie? Because I'm hearing a
It's a
lot of
good
people
question.
want it to lie within the broadband providers, but that goes back to my original point, in which when you're looking at dollars and cents where the margins are tight in broadband, how the heck do you make this a business case, right? So I would challenge that we need to stop this conversation of saying it's the ISP who should be in charge of this. When did a private sector company became come in charge of educating our public, right? When did they become? I think we need to stop this conversation of that you need to be doing it, the nonprofits need to be doing it, the cities need to be doing it. We all need to come together and say, this is something we need for our ecosystem in America to make sure we have these skill sets, because right now technology is changing rapidly, right? I joke that earlier I was watching a LinkedIn post from my sister who's owns a marketing agency, who is like, I'm at 50, almost 50 years old, struggling with how to keep up with AI. She has her master's degree, she owns a marketing agency, and she's struggling. Like, just imagine if you were in an underserved population trying to even understand this when things are rapidly changing. I couldn't even imagine.
Well, I want to address 2 points you just made because, at our marketing agency, every day we're having those conversations about AI, right? How do we, where are the opportunities for us? Where are the opportunities for our clients? What are the threats, towards our way of life? And what are the threats towards our clients? And how do we grow? How do we enhance and how do we work with AI? That is completely, that is the future. We all need to be digital experts. I don't care who you are in this country. You have to know this. That is digital equity. That is also workforce development. So you asked, whose responsibility is it? Is it the broadband providers? Is it the ISPs? I don't think so. I think it's your catchphrase, we're all in this together. You look at other workforce development programs. The government is involved in it. They see a regional problem. In this case, it's workforce development, and the Trump administration is saying, okay, America first. We want to bring manufacturing back. We want to onshore a lot of things. Great. How are you going to build all these factories? How are you going to have the staff to run the computers and the engineering and all that stuff? You need that digital equity component, particularly in the rural areas. And so,
I think that's a great point, Bessie. I think that's a really great point. Is that if we want to bring back manufacturing, manufacturing is not with our hands anymore. It is with computers. It's
yes,
with those technologies that people aren't thinking that, because everybody's, when we say bringing back manufacturing in this country, everybody goes back to your 1950s black and white TV like role that you see of people, sewing something. Yeah, there's some of that, but most of that, it does not exist anymore. It's about efficiency. It's about like running these things, and
right.
you have to have the skill set to be able to do that.
So you can't like wave this magic wand, wifo fifo presto, right? And then all of a sudden you have a skilled workforce ready to work in manufacturing. It is a government partnership. It's the Department of Labor funding these programs with the workforce investment boards. Getting people who may be on the unemployment rolls, on Medicaid,
Mhm.
retrained and back into the workforce. Again, these are Republican, programs. These are straight from Republican talking points. And if we can get the digital equity community to focus on this instead of being, shocked that these programs that the Republicans have been saying that they're going to cut, they actually followed up on their promise and cut them. It's like, yes, the program is valid, whether you call it digital equity, whether you call it workforce development, whether you call it, telehealth, behavioral health, subsidies. I think where the issue is going to come is how it gets funded. So let's say a couple of $1 billion gets chopped out of BEAD for digital equity. Where does that money go? Does it just go right back to the taxpayers, or does some of that money maybe go to the Department of Labor to fund digital equity programs? Then the argument becomes, well, Department of Labor, maybe isn't staffed or doesn't have the right people to do that. So woe is me. But the point is, it's not going to happen anyway. So this is the best opportunity to move these programs that you believe in forward. Go ahead with it. Maybe it's not going to be the perfect digital equity program, but you're going to get something out of it. America will get something out of it. So it's time to play ball. It's time to change the conversation. Digital equity is digital equity, no matter how you label it. Just label it something differently and show the administration that it aligns with the programs and the policies that they're trying to advance.
Well, I'm gonna say something a little bit different. I don't think we need to rename it. I think we all need to get off our partisan bullshit pedestals and work together. Like at the end of the day, because we all want this, but people get so caught up of what is right and what is wrong instead of just coming together and saying, "Can we compromise? Can we work together?" I used to say it, and I say it every day today. So I don't know why I said I used to say it, is let's put one foot in front of the other and make some progress today instead of having everything perfect. Because I think that we get very crippled by wanting everything in line and everything being perfect and everything working together. That's never going to happen. Life is messy, business is messy. So why don't we just make one inkling towards doing the right thing and remove our egos from the equation, and we can actually come together and make shit happen. Excuse my language on this episode of Broadband Besties. Back to you,
Wow,
Bestie.
you get your lips done once, and then you never know what's going to come out of them.
You just don't know. It
But
happens.
I disagree though a little bit with what you're saying
Go
though,
for it.
because I'll tell you what, it it's easy to say we just have to, drop our partisan politics and go, but politics is a game. It's all a game. It's strange bedfellows. Like the Democrats today are fighting against programs that Democrats, introduced 10 years ago, right? It's a game. It's not about the people. It's about beating the other party. And so you have to play the game in order to get the results that you want. There's no such thing as bipartisan this or bipartisan that. I mean, it happens every now and then, but it's a game. And so I think it's up to those who are really passionate about this issue to play the game a little bit. It's okay to play the game a little bit. You don't have to be, a purist on values. Play the game, get the results. That's what it's all about.
I agree and disagree because the game, excuse my language, is also bullshit, right? You have to play the game to get something across the line right now. But at the end of the day, should you play the game or should we do what's right? And I think that's where we really struggle of like, yes, I get it. I've played the game, you've played the game, we've all played the game, right? But should we play the game? And I think that is where I'll go hashtag together we can, is that we have to have people in power who really are willing to compromise. Yes, there's always going to be gameplay, but I don't think that we should force our politics to go down a game of that level. But that's just me. And maybe
You,
I'm
you,
too Pollyannish. on
No,
this.
you know what you sound like. You sound like you have a whole bunch of fuck you money, right? And it's like it doesn't matter. I can say fuck you, and we're gonna be poly. I mean you must. I mean look at the look at the sequin stuff for Fiber and the champagne, right? But what I'm saying is that it's easy to say, yeah, we're going to do the right thing, and you can do the right thing, but you can do also the right thing by playing the game. And the people who need the training and the people where that funding they're going to benefit, they can't wait another 4 years or five
But
years.
at the end of the day, if you're playing the freaking game, are these people really going to get connected? And I think that's the problem, is that we need this today, not when this game gets played out like a big version of Monopoly in 6 years, right? Because we've all played Monopoly and you want to like pull your hair out because it's lasting too long. That's the game I don't want to play. I want to play the game that we actually operationalize this and make it happen. And how do we do that? I think it has to be coming together. But we can agree to disagree, Bessie. We don't have to always agree on our opinions.
So anyway, that's what we're looking forward to discussing at FiberConnect.
And we'll probably be arguing at the bar about this. So if you see a lady in a sequins top and a guy wearing, "Hey, I'm Karen," or some sort of t-shirt like that, that would be us. And we'll probably be talking about digital equity and still fighting about it.
But honestly, I think we should keep the conversation going at FiberConnect. I think it's good. I want people to come up to me and say, Bob, I agree with your point. I disagree with Kim, or vice versa. Bob, I disagree with you. I know the comments are all going to be like, you go, Kim. Like you stick to your laurels. You stick to your guns. And then get a couple of guys who are like, Bob, you're right. You're right. But it'll be like one of those moments with like you like walking on a beach and like I moved to Utah, 23 years ago to stick with my laurels and wear a sequins top.
You just are just jealous of me. It's okay. It's okay. Like, I get it. I get it. I'm me. You're you. I wear sequins. You wear Amazon t-shirts. We all have our jam.
Our
But
jam.
I should like let me get some stars. I'll go buy some stars and we can figure out who gives us more stars so we can just wear them. Like, who got the gold star today? It's gonna be me
Oh,
because it goes
it's
with my
totally going to be you.
sequins.
Bessie, you're like Donald Trump. You could walk down Park Avenue and shoot someone, and they'd be like, "Oh, Kim, you were right. We're gonna give you a star."
Okay, we probably need to end this episode with broadband besties on that
I
note.
I have one question though. How we end this episode? When Trent has the hot wings, is he does he dip in ranch or blue cheese?
Ooh, that's a good question. I
Team
am
blue
not.
cheese right here. Team blue
I
cheese.
oh, see, this is where we differ again. It's
Mm,
absolutely ranch. What he does and what we do might be different, but ranch is a better option. Just
mm-mm.
saying.
We're gonna find out. We'll see you guys this weekend at FiberConnect in Nashville. Everyone travel safely. Have the best trip. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to give big hugs to everyone. Catch up and meet a lot of new people.
Do
And
you hug?
I'm a hugger. Yeah, I'm a hugger. Listen, if you don't know anyone there and it's your first time going to FiberConnect, come up and say hi to us, and we'll be your friends, and you'll have at least two friends there.
Wow.
When you
I don't think
snarl,
they want I don't think they want us as friends, just to be honest. But
oh,
okay.
they anyone who wears an Amazon t-shirt and where'd you is that Amazon or was Michael's?
This was Nordstrom Rack. Thank you very much.
Nordstrom Rack. Nordstrom Rack. Very impressive. All right, we'll see you this weekend. Bye, everyone.
It's the Broadband Bestie Show.